I never thought one small decision at work could flip my entire week upside down. But here I am, ticketless, ghosted, and trying to figure out how it all went so wrong. So, if you've ever trusted the wrong person or had your excitement crushed in one ridiculous moment, you're going to feel this. It started with something so simple, just a regular Friday at the office. You know, the kind of day when everyone's already half checked out by lunch. That's when Ryan, the guy from marketing I've been getting kind of close with lately, dropped by my desk. We'd been friendly for a while, coffee runs, inside jokes during team meetings, even a few long talks after hours. It wasn't anything official or romantic. At least, not yet. But there was definitely something. So when I mentioned I scored 2 floor seat tickets to see Taylor Swift, yes, actual Eras tour tickets, his eyes lit up. I could tell he was excited, and without really thinking it through, I casually said, "Maybe you can come with me." I didn't mean it like a promise. It was just a moment. You know how it is when you're vibing with someone and you're caught up in the energy. But apparently, he took it seriously. Way more seriously than I realized. Fast forward 3 days, I decide to go with my best friend instead. I figured Ryan and I never really made plans, and I wanted to share this huge night with someone who's been there through everything. I texted him, thinking it'd be no big deal. I even said we could hang out another time. But the next thing I know, my Ticketmaster account is locked. I can't log in. I'm getting weird notifications. And then I find out, he sold the tickets. My actual Taylor Swift tickets. Gone. And just like that, so was he. Blocked on every app, every platform, even my work email. Like I never existed. I keep replaying it in my head. Was it really a mistake to trust him? Or did I miss every red flag along the way? And now, with the concert a week away, I'm left with no tickets, no answers, and a whole mess of questions I never expected to be asking. The weird part is, Ryan never seemed like the type to do something so petty, or honestly, so cruel. He always came off chill, funny, kind of goofy, super helpful around the office. He was that guy who always remembered people's birthdays and brought donuts on random Mondays. He'd walk me to my car when we worked late, made playlists for team meetings, even remembered my coffee order better than I did. So yeah, I let my guard down. And now I'm wondering if I ever really knew him at all. We met 6 months ago when he joined the team. At first, we just clicked over dumb work stuff, bad Wi-Fi, awkward Zoom calls, and mutual hate for our broken office printer. It felt nice having someone to talk to who actually listened. Our desks were near each other, so we'd always catch up during lunch or on slow afternoons. Nothing intense, just that casual closeness that sneaks up on you when you're not looking for anything. Over time, I started thinking maybe there was more. The way he laughed at my jokes a little too hard. How he always found a reason to text me after hours. It felt like a slow build toward something. But we never said it out loud. It just hung in the air, comfortable and kind of confusing. So when I mentioned the Taylor Swift tickets, I thought it was fine. I thought we were in a good place, friends with potential, nothing that needed defining just yet. But now I keep circling back to all the little things I ignored. Like how he got weirdly quiet the day after I told him I was taking someone else. Or how he stopped coming by my desk out of nowhere. At first I thought he was just being dramatic, but then when my Ticketmaster login failed, everything started spiraling. I thought maybe I was just locked out. I never expected to see the email confirming the tickets were resold. I tried to confront him, but there was no way to reach him. Blocked everywhere. Even mutual coworkers said he was suddenly on leave. No one seemed to know what happened, or they were pretending not to. And now it's this big awkward silence at work, like no one wants to touch it. People glance at me but don't ask. And I keep wondering, did I just get played? Or is there something even bigger going on here that I haven't figured out yet? I kept checking my email every few hours, hoping maybe it was all some kind of mistake, maybe a system error or a glitch. But deep down, I knew. Ryan had access to my phone once. That one afternoon when we were working on a project and I stepped away to grab lunch, I'd left it on my desk. I didn't even think about it until now. I trusted him enough not to worry. But now, all I could think was, did he use that moment to get into my apps? Did he plan this? The more I tried to make sense of it, the less anything added up. Ryan didn't just sell the tickets, he disappeared. No Instagram, no Slack, not even in the group chat we had for the marketing team. It's like he wiped himself off the grid. That's when my friend Mia, the one I originally invited to the concert, said something that chilled me. What if this wasn't random? What if he did this to someone else before? It hadn't crossed my mind until she said it, but suddenly, all these little things started to look different. Ryan always had stories about ex-friends who turned on him, or roommates who stole from him. At the time, I thought he was just unlucky. Now I wonder if he was twisting the story all along. Mia started digging around, looking at old tagged photos on social media, old LinkedIn comments, even reviews from his last job. We didn't find much, but there was one weird comment on an old photo. Someone tagged him and wrote, "Still scamming people, huh?" It had no replies and was quickly deleted. But we screenshotted it. Just in case. Meanwhile, things at work got colder. I overheard two coworkers whispering near the break room, and when I walked in, they stopped talking. Someone else told me HR had been asking questions, but not to me. To other people. About Ryan. About me. And that's when it hit me, maybe this wasn't just about the Taylor Swift tickets. Maybe Ryan knew something. Or had something on someone. And maybe me getting dragged into this was just part of something bigger I still couldn't see. I started to wonder, was I the only one he fooled? Or was I just the only one speaking up about it? By the end of the week, I could barely focus at work. Every Slack notification made my stomach turn. Every time someone said Ryan under their breath, I tensed up. I wasn't sleeping much either, just staying up late, scrolling through old texts, rereading messages, trying to spot the moment where things shifted. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how careful Ryan had been. Every interaction felt so normal at the time, but now it looked calculated. Then came the email, from HR. Just one line in the subject, regarding recent activity. I clicked it faster than I've clicked anything in my life. It wasn't about me getting in trouble, but they wanted to discuss any interactions I had with Ryan that might help clarify certain concerns. That's when I knew, this was bigger than the stolen Taylor Swift tickets. Something had been happening behind the scenes. Maybe it wasn't just me who'd been played. I met with HR the next day, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear them. I told them everything I knew, how he had access to my phone, how the tickets were resold without my permission, how he vanished right after. I could see it on their faces, this wasn't the first complaint. But they wouldn't say it out loud. "We're investigating," they kept repeating. "Thanks for your cooperation." Meanwhile, Mia didn't stop digging. She found a Reddit post from 2 years ago. It was buried in a thread about sketchy coworkers. A girl from another city wrote about a guy named Ryan, same last name, same job title, eerily similar vibe. She said he borrowed her phone to make a call and ended up hacking into her accounts. The post was vague but hauntingly close to my own experience. She said she lost money, trust, and even her job. No one believed her. That night, I got a message from an unknown number. Just 3 words, "You shouldn't talk." No name. No context. But I knew exactly who it was from. I showed Mia, and she said we had to go to the police. But part of me hesitated. Was I in actual danger now? Was this just him lashing out, or was there more to uncover? And if I kept pushing, what else would come to light? All I wanted was a concert night with someone I thought I could trust. Now I was caught in something that felt way darker than I ever imagined. After that message, "You shouldn't talk," everything changed. The whole situation stopped feeling like a petty revenge move over concert tickets and started feeling like something I wasn't prepared for. I didn't sleep that night. I kept checking my locks, looking out the window, jumping at every buzz from my phone. I couldn't prove it was Ryan, but I didn't have to. I felt it. And worse, I knew he wasn't done. The next morning at work, my badge didn't scan. I stood there, confused, until someone from IT came over and quietly said, "You've been flagged for a security check." I laughed, thinking it had to be a mistake. But they weren't laughing. They walked me to HR. Again. This time, the tone was different. They asked if I'd accessed Ryan's old work files. If I'd shared anything outside the company. If I still had contact with him. I told them no, over and over again, but their faces were cold. One of them finally leaned in and said, "There's evidence your account tried to log into a secure folder using Ryan's credentials." I just sat there, frozen. I hadn't done anything like that. But someone had. And if Ryan got into my Ticketmaster, what else had he accessed? My work laptop. My company email. Maybe even our shared project files. The realization hit me like a truck. He hadn't just stolen my Taylor Swift tickets. He was framing me. I walked out of that meeting feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. Mia met me outside the building, and before I could even say anything, she looked panicked. She showed me her phone. Someone had messaged her from an anonymous Instagram account. This time it said, "She's not who you think she is." It wasn't just me Ryan was targeting now. He was trying to flip the narrative. Make me look like the one who crossed the line. Like I was the one with secrets. And then came the real twist. Mia got a call from a blocked number. She didn't answer, but the voicemail made our stomachs turn. A robotic voice reading a list of numbers. At first it seemed like gibberish, until we figured out what it was: coordinates. We typed them into Google Maps. It led to an abandoned office building downtown, just 2 blocks from Ryan's last known address. A place we didn't even know existed before. Everything suddenly felt calculated. Not just emotional or vengeful, but planned. Like we were just pieces in something Ryan had been orchestrating for longer than we realized. I started to wonder, was this all about me, or had I accidentally stepped into something much bigger? And if he'd gone this far just to cover his tracks, what exactly was he hiding? I didn't want to go to that abandoned building, but something told me we had to. Mia agreed to come with me, even though we were both shaking the whole Uber ride there. The place looked like it hadn't been used in years: cracked windows, rusted doors, and a broken sign that used to say, "Tech Lab Solutions." We pushed through the side entrance, flashlight apps on, hearts pounding. I didn't know what I expected to find, maybe nothing, but what we did find changed everything. There were files. Stacks of old paperwork and open boxes filled with printed screenshots, emails, login credentials, fake IDs, even notes that looked like scripts for different personas. Ryan's name showed up again and again, but always under aliases. The more we dug, the clearer it became. He wasn't just some guy who ghosted me over concert tickets. He had been running long-term scams, digital theft, social engineering, even fake job offers. The Taylor Swift tickets? Just another piece of leverage in a bigger web. And then I found it. A folder labeled with my name. Inside were copies of my texts, photos from my Instagram, my work profile, even screenshots of me and Mia at lunch. It was all mapped out, like I'd been chosen. Like he'd been watching, waiting for the perfect moment to use me as a cover or a distraction. I wasn't the first. But I might have been the last one to catch on. Just as we were about to leave, Mia's phone buzzed again, another anonymous message. But this one just said, "Turn around." We both froze. The sound of a car starting outside jolted us into motion. We ran out, just in time to catch a glimpse of a silver Honda peeling away. I swear I saw Ryan behind the wheel, but I couldn't be sure. Still, we had proof now. Real, solid proof. We turned everything over to the police that night. Investigators confirmed that Ryan had been involved in multiple identity fraud cases across different cities. But he was gone, disappeared again. No one could find him. A few weeks later, I finally got an email from Ticketmaster. They restored my account and refunded the tickets. But it didn't feel like a win. Not really. The real twist? A month later, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a single photo, me and Ryan, laughing at my desk from months ago. On the back, it just said, "Next time, don't choose someone else." After that letter, I didn't sleep for days. I kept checking the windows, double-locking doors, even watching over my shoulder during my commute. But as time passed, the fear faded into something else, understanding. It wasn't just about Taylor Swift tickets. Or a missed concert. Or even betrayal. It was about how easily trust can be broken when you don't know what someone's really capable of. Work slowly returned to normal. HR cleared me officially, and I even got a quiet apology from my manager. No one talked about Ryan anymore, like he'd been erased. But I knew better. He'd left a mark. On me. On everyone. Mia and I stayed close through it all. We laughed more, double-checked everything, and built new rules around trust. She still jokes about how I almost took a scam artist to see Taylor Swift. I laugh too, but deep down, it still stings. Eventually, I changed my passwords, froze my credit, and got a new phone. I even went off social media for a while. I needed space. Distance. A reset. The photo Ryan sent? I burned it. Not out of fear, but because I refused to let him live rent-free in my head anymore. Whatever power he thought he had, I was done giving it to him. But I learned something important through all of this. Red flags don't always wave in your face. Sometimes they whisper. A little too much interest, too much charm, too fast. It wasn't my fault, but I won't ignore my gut again. And the biggest twist? A few months later, I won a last-minute radio contest, 2 VIP passes to the next leg of Taylor's tour. Different city, better energy, and this time I took Mia. We danced all night, sang until we lost our voices, and laughed about how wild the last year had been. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. So yeah, I made one mistake with a work friend. I trusted someone who didn't deserve it. He stole my tickets, tried to wreck my name, and vanished like a ghost. But in the end, I got something better than a concert. I got my power back. And trust me, that's something no one can sell or steal.